Hello, Steemit. I'm at Starkers, and to my right is at an architect, Dylan.
Hello.
Hello. We're here to inform you about the last few days. We spent the last 3.5 days in Cyprus, and it was an absolutely crazy time. We went to the iCoin Summit, which is an ICO battle, the winner of which received $250,000 of investment. So it was a serious money place. There's some big investors there. Dylan and I, we knew the organisers, and so they allowed us to do a 20-minute speech at the start of the day, and we also helped them moderate two expert panels on ICOs and the future of investing. So it was really, really successful. And Dylan, would you be able to go into what happened after that and the attention that we got from some of the people there?
Yeah, well, basically, we spent about the next 3.5 days being approached almost continuously by projects, by investors, by people that were really interested in what we'd had to say. A lot of them had never ever heard of the Steem blockchain. They didn't really know what it was, didn't know what it did. But what we'd done is we'd basically explained how the Steem blockchain can be used as a rewards community, and people were massively interested in this, to the degree that we identified a really interesting, a really big number of projects and ideas and organizations that want to work with us, and by extension with the Steem blockchain community. All sorts of different types of people with different interests to effectively, get all sorts of interesting work in the real world done. And what was fascinating was that it never stopped. Literally, we were having one meeting, and then 5 minutes later, people were grabbing us and they were sitting us down and saying, "Hey, can we talk to you about what you guys do and what you can do for us?" And basically, we had people queuing up at one point to come and talk to us. It was absolutely balmy. And so on the way home, we were still having meetings a couple of hours before we got on a plane to go home. People were saying to us, "Listen, don't leave right now." We actually got a call from somebody who said, "Don't go home, I want to talk to you." So we've set up tons of meetings over, video conferences, calls over the next few days to talk to lots of people. But we've already identified a number of projects already which we feel would be of massive interest to the Steem blockchain community. And what's really cool is that these people are happy to bring external investments and new money into the Steem blockchain to kickstart these projects, which is absolutely fantastic news. And we were very, very keen to get people from outside of the community to start bringing new money into it, and effectively using it to reward people on the blockchain for their knowledge, their understanding, their talents, their skills, their time, and their energy, which is something that, as you may know, we've been really passionate about with the whole promo-steem movement. And now stuff's getting very real. It's getting very real world. It's becoming something completely new. So I'm going to pass over to Matt, and we'll talk about some of the projects that have come out, which are immediately projects that people want us to start building communities around and assisting them with that. And ultimately, this is going to be for the Steem community at large to get involved in. So, we really hope that you do. We really hope that you like what we've done, because effectively, as far as we're concerned, it's for the benefit of the whole community. So wait until you hear some of these. So Matt, do you want to go through the list?
Yeah, cool. Let's take this across here. So I've got on the screen now the Oracle D logo and some of the projects we're going to be getting involved in immediately as a result of the Icon Summit and the networks that we made in Cyprus.
Yeah, so just to explain, Oracle D was the name that we came up with. It's been something that we've been starting to develop with the Steam Ambassador program. But ultimately, what we're talking about here is Oracle, so they're people that observe things that are happening on the blockchain. And obviously, the D bit stands for decentralized. So Oracle's decentralized effectively. So just to explain what that means.
Yeah, so the idea is that let's just run back to the Cyprus conference. What we did in Cyprus, the presentation I was just showing on the screen there, was us presenting what we'd done at promo-steem and how we'd taken promo-steem forwards. And basically how how successful it was. We ran some numbers, we showed the numbers and the way that the whole thing had progressed, and basically explained how we could take that model and apply it to a multitude of other things. And that's what sparked the interest, because once we explained how that model could be applied to multiple other industries and areas, that's when we got the interest. People started coming up and saying, well, can you help us out with this? And we were like, yeah, we can. Nearly every single time, we realized that we could modify the system in a slight way to help all of these blockchain ICOs and all sorts of investment type people. There were community projects in there. There were humanitarian projects in there. So what I want to do now is just show on the screen this Oracle D thing here, and list the projects that we're currently going to get involved in using the promo-steem model and taking it forwards into slight variations and helping other people to benefit from the model of promo-steem. So what I'll do is here I'll just mention the name of the project and then let Dylan go into a bit more detail about what it is, and we'll try and move through like that. So the first one here is computer game community development, where the players can get paid to play. So we were approached by a couple of guys that were awesome guys. We're not going to name any companies or any names yet. But we realised, and Dylan specifically realised, that we can apply this promo-steem model to growing a community for gamers and helping them get paid with Steam to play based on scores that they get. So I don't know if you want to go into a bit more detail about that, Dylan.
Yeah, so effectively these guys have developed and spent a long time developing a brand new massive multiplayer online role-playing game. MMORPG, and obviously when you first launch something like this, you kind of need to have a community already playing the game. Otherwise, when new people come into the platform, there's nobody there. So they were very keen to find out if members of the Steam blockchain community, particularly those that are interested in gaming, would like to effectively get paid in Steam for playing computer games. And obviously we said that we could set the model up for that, and we could make sure that the model worked properly and everybody got what they wanted. So effectively they want people who are very interesting, that want to go on, play computer games, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Play games, get paid, and I can see that happening all over the world. So that's something that we're definitely keen to move ahead with. Like we said, we're not going to name any names at the moment, but this game is immense.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that it does for me is it sets a precedent. So if we succeed in setting this up and helping them grow a community, helping Steamians get paid, it's a precedent for every other computer game from that point forwards.
Absolutely.
So as a result, the Steam community can take these models to computer games and roll them out using the example that we're going to set. So please, guys, stay tuned to what we're talking about. On all of these, actually, stay tuned, because we are going to be releasing more information about how you can help and how you can get involved, and potentially how you can earn money with Steam to be involved in these projects. But we're obviously going to have different levels. There's going to be people who are going to play the computer games that actually create the community, and that's of course voluntary and interesting. There's also going to be people who are going to be kind of community managers in these things, and people who are going to sit in the administration and management side of these projects. So we're looking for help with all of these, and please stay tuned, because we are going to be rolling out some more information as to how you can get involved. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is intellectual property and brand management. So of course, there were many people there who manage intellectual property, particularly on behalf of celebrities. So some of the celebrities that they manage, quite senior celebrities, especially sports stars, and we've realised that you can roll out coaching programs for sports stars to help other people play their sports all across the world using the Steem blockchain and rewarding people for doing that work. So I don't know if you want to make a comment or two on that.
Yeah, I mean, we actually mentioned when we staged that we are currently talking to a British Premiership league footballer, a really big name. And of course, I know absolutely nothing about football, so I didn't particularly know who this guy was. But when I sort of went and looked at it, I realised that he's absolutely huge, this guy. And this person's very interested in setting up coaching academies for football all around the world for kids. And obviously, he's particularly interested in helping out in the developing world. And, it's great for him. It's great PR for him. But ultimately, it's actually providing resources and funds for these football teams all around the world. And when we mentioned this, we had a guy came up to us, and the names that he was mentioning, I mean, they are, I'm not going to say who they are, but they are off the scale.
Yeah.
Even I know who they are, and so these were huge names. And he was saying that he manages tons and tons of these people, and he absolutely loved the idea of setting up communities which were being funded in the name of these people. It's great PR for them, so they get something out of it. And it's fantastic for the people all around the world who get to benefit from their investment. And obviously, that's something that we can manage using the Oracle system. So that's really exciting, and I think something that we can probably get moving on pretty quickly.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that comment, Dylan, the thing that I think we were both excited about is that, again, if we set this up and successfully manage it, it's a copy paste for the next guy, the next woman that wants to use this. So the celebrity brand management model, with a bolted on initiative that the celebrity wants to build, can be used once we set this up and run it. It can be used over and over again. So all it's going to take is one of this guy's teammates to say, hey, I want to support a football program as well, and it spreads like that.
I'd also say we're not talking just about footballers here. We're also talking about Olympic level, top level athletes, just really big household names that
let's not get too excited.
Where you are in the world, you would have heard of these people, and that blew our minds a little bit. That was fantastic. What else have we got on there?
Yeah, next on the list, translations. So we were approached by someone that wants to realised very quickly, and we, a lot of these things we hadn't realised either, and our potential clients who are behind these projects and would fund these projects realised that what we'd said on stage was applicable to what they were doing. So one of the things we were approached for was to help people produce a mass army of translators and translate things en masse, and be able to compare different translations of things to make sure that it was correct, right? To take an average, let's say. And the potential there is just huge. The amount of people that could be involved in this on the Steem blockchain to help certain companies translate mass documents, especially marketing. So people who have got marketing budgets, they would have their marketing info done in English, for example, and they would have to roll it out into countries they're targeting. And of course, they would need to translate all of that into the local language. And of course, the Steem blockchain is the ideal place to do that. So if they can fund a pot of capital, they could use that with the promo-steem model to distribute that Steem in a decentralized way, to make sure that they get, more or less the best quality mass translation documents that you can possibly achieve, really. So of course we can manage that scenario with the promo-steem model. So anything else from you, Dylan, on that?
Yeah, just on that. I mean, we're currently 2 enormous portals being translated into between 10 and 12 languages, including Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, Indonesian, I think Punjabi was one of them. Arabic. So there's absolutely tons of potential work out there for people to do and get paid with vested pots of steam, not that are ours, but that are coming from the outside, which is absolutely phenomenal use. So, we'll definitely keep you posted. That particular project is one that our expectation is it's going to kick off quite soon. So definitely stay tuned for that one. What's next?
Yeah. When Dylan says quite soon, I think we're talking in the next week or so. So we're going to try and rush to get that one set up and get it moving for the client.
Yeah.
This next one is content creation. It's from the same client. And basically they've realized again that we could use this model to create content. So we could have mass content creation for a specific agenda or initiative that the client's trying to direct. And we can harness all the people across the Steem blockchain to do that. And it becomes a mass army of writers. And of course, we can build in some sort of point scoring or reputation system to bring the best writers to the top, and allow the clients to choose which writers they want to use eventually. But there's definitely a mass kind of, a client that wants to produce content on a regular basis. There is a niche for them on the Steem blockchain, because real people can create real content for our clients, and we can make sure that those people get paid on the Steem blockchain. Again, the clients fund it with a pot of steam and hopefully make a return off the curation rewards. And yeah, everyone wins really. So yeah, I'll hand over to you on that, Dylan.
Yeah, that's a really particularly when you realise that a lot of the content that these guys want is around the blockchain sphere. We're not talking about content for unrelated products here, although I think there's probably in the future definitely scope if people wanted to get involved in that. But we're talking about people writing content that's directly applicable to cryptocurrency, to blockchain, and let's face it, we've got a community that's extremely knowledgeable about these things and is very used to writing content. So this is a fantastic opportunity for great content creators to earn even more in rewards, whilst so they're helping themselves whilst helping these very interesting blockchain companies to grow the whole blockchain sphere as a whole, which is fabulous news. So I'm again very excited about that one. What else have we got on there?
Let's have a look. The next one is panel moderation at major event in Athens, November 2018. So we were approached by a major university from Cyprus. And this university is Nicosia, and they're very famous for being the first university to actually have a blockchain course, and they're trying to become the leading blockchain university in the world. So they actually have set up several major events to bring major institutions from the, let's call it the current financial system, together with blockchain experts from the top level. And we were talking about some serious names such as Christine Lagarde and Vitalik Buterin. Whether they come or not, we don't know, but they're currently in the phase of inviting them. So that's going to be in Athens in November. We'll post more details about it. And of course, we'll do the same thing that we did for the London Cryptocurrency Show, where we kind of pushed it. We got people writing content about it, got the word out there, except this time it's going to have people like from the head of the IMF coming. It's really going to be top level people to this event. And we've been asked to go and compare and moderate that event. And also present there. So that's all come from this at the iCoin Summit, because people liked what we did, they liked the way we presented, they liked how clear we were speaking about things, and people understood what we were saying. So yeah, we've been asked to go and work on that project next as well. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's worth saying that there's actually people who are involved in other blockchain and crypto expos all over the world that have also tentatively said, will you guys come out and speak here? We obviously did a reasonable job, I think, and obviously, if we say so ourselves, Matt was very good. He was excellent.
Dylan was really good. He was really good as well.
Oh, thanks, mate. I'm feeling all flush now, and a little bit embarrassed. No, not really. That's not really me. But yeah, that's a great opportunity, and obviously something that we'd like to get some of the other steamers to come and join us there. So as I say, more details to come. What's next?
Next one is one of our favourites, possibly our most favourite, is the social housing projects in Ghana. So in this one, we've been asked to come up with a way to help the Ghanaian authorities keep Ghanaians in Ghana, because of course because the housing prices are so high, the salaries are so low, they have a brain drain where the youth are leaving the country to go find other work. So what they're trying to do is come up with a way of subsidising housing so that they can build these houses through the standard contracts, but back a subsidy of those housing to incentivize young people, essentially lower the price for young people to stay in those houses and keep them in the country, and then back that whole sort of risk that they're taking with that with their own currency, and use the Steem blockchain to mine Steem, produce communities in the local area to essentially back to lower the price of the housing in the long run. So we'd have a 1 or 2, maybe 5 year investment into the Steem blockchain, and we would use that to create communities in the local area, which would then mine us Steem and allow us to discount the price of the housing ultimately. That would make the housing cheaper for the young people who are involved in these local projects. So there's kind of a double incentive to be involved in the projects. You get rewarded twice because you get the house and you get whatever you do in the community for the project. And so we're currently working with some very top level people in Ghana that we met in Cyprus to push that forward. We have a call tomorrow with them to see how we can move that forward and get into a few more details with it. But it's really, really exciting stuff, and I'm just blown away. If this happens, then it's a model that you can copy in every country going forwards. Again, it's all the same type of stuff we were talking about before, and these are all again funded from outside of Steem. Where I know that Dylan's excited because potentially this is a government funding something in the blockchain, which we never thought we'd see, but hopefully we'll be able to see it here.
So, yeah, well, letting a narco tech play with governments can always be dangerous, but I promise to play fair. And, sometimes.
Yeah. So have you got any more comments on that, Dylan, going forward?
Yeah, I would say what was interesting is the person who is our contact with that. I saw her sort of running at me over lunch one day. This lovely lady, she kind of charged at me and she just put her arms around me and grabbed me, and she said the words "hallelujah." That was her first word, and I was like, "Sorry, what are you talking about?" And she said, "You guys and what you're doing and what your blockchain can do." And the fact that you talked about humanitarian projects as a thing that you're really passionate about, it really moved her and it really inspired her. And this lady was, she's heard about the blockchain. Somebody's obviously given her some help and explained to her how blockchain technology might be able to assist with this project, but she didn't really have any ideas or clue about how that would work. So we spent a long time with her. Actually, we met up with her when we got back to the UK. We spent a long time with her explaining how this might work. And to say that, we were all, not just her, but we were all pretty blown away with how the blockchain can collaborate with established governments, but in a way that actually makes a massive difference in ordinary people's lives. I gotta say, I was utterly humbled and totally mind blown by the possibilities here. So particularly for the Ghanaian community to this, we are going to be coming to talk to you guys because this is huge, and this will be really, really good hopefully for you guys.
I've touched.
We're going to need your help. What can I say?
Yeah,
we're going to need
people's help. I've touched base with Ejime on this briefly already, because of course you've got the Steem Accelerator Hub model that may be applicable to this in Ghana, and we can take his expertise over there and help him implement that. Maybe we've got to discuss several options with the client as to what they want to do, but it looks really interesting. So and it allows the local people to spend government money transparently. Everyone can see where it's going. They're going to build meaningful projects in the local area, and also be able to mine some Steem while they're doing it to pay for the housing. So it's just brilliant. I can't wait to get more involved in that. So I think
and I'd just say on that particular level, that they're talking about are hundreds of thousands of houses.
Yeah, you're talking a lot of money.
A lot of money,
Yeah.
billions.
So interesting. We'll see what happens.
We will. What's next?
So this is the last one for now. There may be one or two others we talk about briefly, but the main one here was quality and accuracy review of news media. So in this one, we were talking to to Daniel from Cobinhood, who's the chief marketing officer from Cobinhood. And my mom invested in Cobinhood a while ago, so I know all about Cobinhood and what it does, and that they're involved in ICOs and all this type of stuff. So I went to him and I said, "Oh, my mum knows about you," da, da, da. And he was like, "Oh," he was a bit blown away, and he was kind of like, "Who's this guy?" But then when I got over my starstruckness, we were talking about the promo-steem model and how it could be applicable to helping him market some of his ICOs on the Steem blockchain, and also helping him review some of his ICOs on the Steem blockchain. So we could use certain people on the Steem blockchain to review ICOs and act as a major filter for the bulk of the ICO review work that Cobinhood does, and actually 4 or 5 other companies that do ICO reviews in the crypto sphere. So you would have Steemians acting as a mass filter, maybe 200 or 300 of them to review 200 or 300 ICOs. Then only, let's say, 10 or 15 of those get through that filter, and then you have another layer of Steemians. And then on top of that, when the last sort of 2 or 3 that are really good get through, then on top of that you have the last layer of Steemians who are doing the final reviews, and that pass that on to Cobinhood. And Cobinhood obviously reward everyone on the way down. It works very similar to the Curie model for curation. But yeah, that would be using ICOs and using the Steem community to review ICOs. And then you've got the marketing. So once that ICO is chosen, you can have promo dash the ICO, and you could start marketing the ICOs. And then the final thing was he kind of threw a curveball in, which was kind of slightly unrelated, and goes, well, can we use the same model as promo-steem to effectively go and find fake news articles and review the comments manually in those articles and assign them a grade as to whether it's real, fake, neutral, or what, right? So you can actually read the articles manually and actually decide whether the comments are telling the reviewer what the article is, whether the article's fake, or whether it's real, whether it's good quality, low quality. And all of a sudden, you realise that we could build this interface on Steem where you have many hundreds of Steemians going out, reviewing content on the internet and grading it, and then banging those gradings onto the Steem blockchain, so that the whole world then can go to an interface that's built on the Steem blockchain and actually read their content from there, knowing that it's already been reviewed by real people, and that it has a high quality rating with a low fake news rating, let's say. And so that just kind of blew my mind, because all of a sudden you're looking at something absolutely major on the internet that could go all over the place if it's done properly. So with this, on all these projects that we're talking about here, they all have potential pots of money behind them. So it's not like we need to go to a whale for delegation or to Steem Inc. for a delegation. We can just build these projects because these clients are interested in funding them. So what we end up having now is we're going to go through the calculations to work out what size of pots of Steem we need from these clients in order to execute these projects. So from all these things that we've just said, we're looking for volunteers to get involved. We're looking for people to step up and say, hey, I'm interested to help you guys out. And we will do everything we can to make sure people are upvoted and rewarded for the work that they do. Have you got anything else to add to that, Dylan?
On that particular project, it took me a couple of goes to get my head around the sheer size and audacity of that project. And obviously that's not something we're going to do in the next week because it's gigantic. But could you imagine having people who are literally almost like sentiment analysts? Because as we all know, the mainstream always be trusted to tell absolutely the truth, and never ever tells porcupines and fibs. Never. So obviously,
easy job.
That's rubbish. Yeah, obviously that's complete rubbish, and we know that where you get interesting people who are have got about them and don't necessarily always believe what they're told, they can act as like a sentiment filter for news, because obviously, as we know, depending on what country you live, you're going to get a very slightly or sometimes wildly different interpretation of what the mainstream media actually says. So, that could be a really interesting project over the next few months and potentially even years. So it's huge. So, what I'd say with all of these projects, what we've done right at the front end is explained to the clients that in order to make these happen, they have to incentivize, motivate, and reward people for getting involved in them. And they all really understand that, and they've got pots of money. They've got, there's a lot of them that have ICO'd already. They've got, big funding budgets, and obviously it's our job now to negotiate with them and find out, what their budgets are and how much we can allocate to the projects. And, we're going to be working on figuring out, what we need in order to make a project attractive to people on the Steem blockchain. So, overall, I think what's happened here is we've had a fantastic time. We met loads of amazing people, and we've probably given ourselves about enough work for the next year or two, which is just going to mean that Matt and myself don't have social lives for a while. But that's fine as long as the blockchain gets.
Nothing changes there.
Well, no, that's right, so we'll stay being nerdy and in on Friday nights and things like that. So this is huge, guys. I want to impress upon you that the people that we met were not low grades, and they were not talking rubbish. These are people with serious credentials. There is tons of money that if we do this right, and we can only do this with your support and your help and your backing, we cannot do this on our own. So, we're definitely saying to the community now, look, if you want to get this external investment coming in, which, let's face it, what happens when external investment comes in? The price of Steem goes up. And the people that are involved in it, they benefit because there's new rewards, and we don't necessarily have to be relying on catching a whale's eye to get rewarded for high quality work. And what's important is that we have set up already a working model for oracles, which we're expanding out, and we're actually working on the tech for that right now. So yeah, like I say, we've kind of given up our social lives for a bit to make these projects happen. I think for me, that's all I'm going to say for now. It's very exciting. I'm going to suggest that people come and talk to us, get in touch with us probably via, it's probably best to get in touch with me via Discord. We have literally got loads of people already talking to us. So if we don't answer straight away, please don't be offended. We've just got so much going on, but we will do our best to get around to everyone. But the watchword here is going to be high quality, right? Because when you're dealing with external investment, clients are going to want massively, massively high quality. So we all have to double down and make sure that we're continuing to build content which is just right up there. So please bear that in mind, and we're going to be releasing specific projects over the next few days and weeks. So that's it from me. Matt, anything left for you?
Yeah, I just want to say we've called this project Oracle-D, right? Because we're trying to put focus on the fact that we're going to, the core of this whole thing is going to be the quality of the oracles, and these oracles being Steem users who are going to go and upvote this content. We will release more about the Oracle-D concept as we go forwards. We've done a great presentation at the Steem, at the iCoin Summit in Cyprus. And so yeah, I want to encourage you to follow at Oracle-D on Steem, on Steemit even. We have a website set up, www.oracle-d. We will
very
release
simple at the moment. More information on coming soon on there.
Okay. We'll release the talk that we did at the iCoin Summit in Cyprus to show you the basis of what this video is about. I'm not sure when we'll release it, but it should be in the next few days, hopefully. Yeah, I encourage you all to watch it. I really hope this is inspiring for everyone. This really is about setting up value creation mechanisms on the Steem blockchain so that we can encourage new investment to come in and actually make it meaningful and make it produce something of value in the real world that people will want to keep investing for. And this contributes to the sustainability of the platform. I know that it's a question that's being bounced around a lot in the crypto sphere at the moment as to the sustainability of Steem. And of course, with the way it's going at the moment, well, you can argue that it isn't sustainable. But if we're setting up mechanisms together as a team to create sustainable value creation projects where people can be encouraged to invest and get something out of that investment, then you can make the Steem ecosystem incredibly sustainable going forwards. And that's what this is really all about from kind of investment, Steem investor side, let's say. So yeah, I'm just really excited. Can't wait to see what happens. Really appreciate everything that the iCoin Summit did. They're a fantastic team. Look out for them. I really recommend going and taking a look at their website. Just Google iCoin Summit. It's an amazing way to get funding into ICOs and to get groups of people who have got money and groups of people who've got technical backing and groups of people who've got entrepreneurial ideas together in the same place and spread that money wisely. So yeah, just thanks very much for that. It's been a wonderful experience this last week, and I can't wait. Well, it's up to us now in the next week or two to maintain good contact with these clients that we've got and develop the ideas going forwards. And if we can do that well and bring as many of you guys on as possible to help with that, then we really can have some massive success here. And I just can't wait to see what happens, basically. So yeah, that's all from me. We're on 36 minutes now, so I guess we'll sign out and say goodbye. And
bye.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dylan. I'll speak to you after the call. All right. Bye-bye.